Hello, I'm Chris from Air Windows, and here we are again. Beg pardon for the previous day where stuff came up, but guess what? We are entirely, utterly, and completely done with the updates for all of those CPU improvements. Hey, Jess. Yeah, I got your email. I've got too much going on to audition a plugin, but you should, put it up and link to it in this stream. Tell people here about it. You don't need me looking at it. You need people who might be on the stream looking at it. But we don't have to compile plugins today. We can do something else. We can do something like this. That's right, it's making tones time. And I think it's going to mostly be Welcome to Surge today. Although there's the possibility of other things. I don't know. I am a little far away from being into the swing of any of these things. So we're going to just basically do what we can to the best of our ability and see where we get. So yeah, the deal here is that now that we are finished with all the compiles and don't have to do this anymore, I'm going to spend a couple of hours just hanging out and we can get into some of this stuff. And when I say that, I also mean we can do this. Hey, I am Mr. MIDI controller face. Yay. Or, whatever else. Maybe I'll set all of this stuff over here. Because there will come a day when Jess, I don't have free time. You know I never have free time. But idea there is, if I can work out how to do this. I had this hooked up with the live music rig, and like nothing was patched or ready to go, so none of it was able to make a noise. My thought is that I could go and do patches on Surge. There's a number of ideas, but I am completely too fried from all of the compiling and a week of solid, constant building all the plugins over again. So it's going to be a bit of a chill stream. And we'll see what we can get. There's a number of possibilities. I do also have something that I can show you, though. When I see more people here, perhaps I will do that. Actually, it might be... Let's just make the bespoke visually go away. I'm not doing anything in it right now, so... So I can make Surge do this. And what I was thinking was maybe what might be fun is to, like I said I was going to do before, get analog sounds and try to match them. I've got some ideas around that. That'll probably get better with time. Right now, it's not going to be the day when it's an amazing performance. In fact, right now, for this stream, I'm not going to be able to even see who's here or anything, but I can see your messages because I've got a little screen here that shows them. So there's that. Daft Punk Synthesis, says Jazz. So something I might consider doing is shutting off Surge for a moment and tell you what I'm going to do. Let me get this started and I'll let you see what I'm doing in Bespoke. And I can't move anything. This is me clicking on it and trying to get it to move. The last week really took it out of me, man, so bear with me. Move, curse you. Output. That's the meter. Because here's the thing. A lot of this is not patched properly. So this is how I'd put it together. And here's my fader 1. What you do is and now fader 1 is on this. Because what I was thinking to do, you might or might not be able to see it clearly, but let me switch back over so that I can maybe see this clearly. Yeah, see the little red lights that are going on just underneath where the see-through green chat is? That means those are firing off notes. They're set up, but I just don't have them going through yet, but I can fix that with a little patching. So let's do that. This ought to work. Okay, now more things are lighting up because I've got a patch through and it should be coming in on channel 5. So let's make a channel for 5. And let's assign it to mono. In Bespoke, my inputs are sort of all on the left if you don't do anything about them. And then let's get another console 7 channel. And now you can see that's all kind of lighting up too. And now we send the console, well, firstly, I said 5, right? But it doesn't have to be. Let's make this be fader 2. I'll move fader 2. Oh, look, there it is. And assign it to this control here. Now that's under control too, as well as this. And if I assign this, send this to the bus, like all these things are arranged in the live thing that I made, and I'm not using it right now because it's too complicated and I had nothing patched. I could, but right now we're using like 7% CPU because we don't have the full mix rig run at the moment. So there we have analog synthesis, 2 Moog Mother 32s. And why don't we just spend a little time, it's about 12 minutes in. Near as I can see, there's only Jazz here. Hi, Jazz. Let's try to match this in Surge, how about? Well, Surge has a much higher output level, but what we're going to do is figure out what we can get as far. Oh, you never tried, but you should be checking out Bespoke. It's very interesting. That said, I might end up going into Reaper more. And there's always Logic Pro. I have most of my familiarity in Logic. But I might be looking into Reaper simply because that is another like accessible, affordable DAW and a bunch of people like it. Also, the thing that I like about Reaper is they will let you use it basically forever because you say, nope, still auditioning, and then you can continue to use it. So, okay, vote for Reaper. Very good. I could ask Patreon about that, but honestly, I think that's the kind of answer I'd be getting. I ask Patreon about many things, maybe not absolutely everything. So here's Surge XT. Now what the Moog sound is a two Mother 32s. They have slightly different Portamento. I don't know if I can do that on search. Yeah, I'm showing you search today. This is going to be a thing. Oh, also, I haven't updated any of my crap, so just a moment. Let me fix that too. We'll spend all the time we need to do all the things we must do. Surge is sitting up on everything. So we need to update titles. Did that work? No, it did not. That's still not doing much. I know it's not updating everything, but it's going to take me a while to be more functional again. So for now, that's what we got. Sound design in analog and surge. And that is actually easy enough to demonstrate. Next thing I'm going to do is scooch this over so that I can see user numbers without it being on screen. And so this is analog. Because it's the Mother 32s. So here's our first problem, is we have got one oscillator going. Let's show it. We have one oscillator going, and it's not doing what the Mother 32s are doing. So let's turn on a second oscillator. We can kind of hear it there. That's 1. That's 0. So os 1 and 2 are alive. I'm going here, sorry for moving and looking like an old man, but that's kind of where we are at today. These are my notes on how to use surge. I've been doing a little practice with this and figuring out where it's going to go as far as how we can get this going. This is a list of the oscillators, and I've also got lists of filters with the kinds of sounds they've got. And we're going to see how close we can get to this. In entirely analog, in surge, not going outside of surge. And that can be today, because that's what I got sitting in front of me. I'm also going to be just using that patch exactly as it is and trying to duplicate that in Surge. So the first order of business is going and seeing what our oscillators are doing in the Mother 32s. This will have to do. So, oh God, what's going on? I don't know whether I'm going to get myself tangled up in cables today. We've got two VCO waves. They're both pulse waves. They both have VCO mod amount, and the mod destination is pulse width. The pulse width is starting out as about halfway, and LFO is driving the pulse width, and one of them has glide and one of them does not. Cutoff is sort of medium there. It says it's about 1K or so. We've got some resonance on that. And VCF mod amount, I'm not sure what those things are even really doing. We do have sustain on, but we also have the gate triggering a output. And the output is going to cut off anything that is a hangover from the envelope. So we basically got our straight gate envelope, and we're looking at only getting the tone of these oscillators together. Again, MIDI oscillators and analog synthesizers and analog pulse width, but it's two different speeds of pulse widths. I can see the lights going. So that's something that I can study as far as trying to get Surge to duplicate those things, because I can see how fast the LFO rates are going. And we're working on basically two oscillators, but we're probably going to need to set up two LFOs to get that sorted out. So, again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the glide part to work. I think that might be a feature that Surge won't give me, which is really weird because it gives so many different things. But let's firstly, knowing that we have a square wave / pulse wave oscillator, let's go and find one. I think we're probably going to do better with the modern library. It has Portamento, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get individual Portamento for each voice. Like you can see there's a Portamento there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do individual ones for each voice. But I might be able to fake it somehow. And you note with Surge, I'm going to be off screen here, don't mind me. I want to continue to talk, but everything is all in an upheaval, so I don't know what I'm doing. So here's Surge. And you notice how it says modern, and you've got these selections. These are nothing but positions of the controls. Like, I can set it to triangle. Guess what? All that did was put triangle up this way. Modern sawtooth. That just did this. We can combine these as we go. And classic is pretty much the same deal. Those settings in the submenus are just settings of the sliders for these particular things. Now we got a bunch of other things in here as well we're not going to get into today. I'm sure there's much to be talked about in future. But what we're going to do is go to these oscillators, and we're going to go to the modern oscillators in the belief that I can do more with those. They're band limited, so they're probably going to do a slightly better job of getting me into That is not going to give me two different voices with individual portamento. I mean, that's the... That said, it's not that super obvious that it is individual portamentos. It's just a sort of additional tonality. So what I can do is roughly match the portamento. What I'd like to do first, however, is set the detunes, because we know that we have two oscillators that both of them have pulse wave modulation. They're two different rates. And no, it wouldn't fake it at all. So firstly, here we are with pulses. We don't have any filters on here yet because these two synths have individual analog filters. So it's two voices being blended into one in mono, but the blending is post-filtering. So we're probably going to want to run into individual filters and combine them that way. That'll get us closer to what it actually is. But we're far away from that right now. So firstly, we're going to be modulating width on both of these, because that's how that's done. You go ahead and drop the link for your prototype in chat. Like, you need other people to review it because I have way too much heavy lifting to catch up with what I was doing, so I'm not going to be able to do that for you. But maybe somebody else can. You got like 6 people in here already, and 1 on Twitch. I've been considering whether I want to just go YouTube streaming and ditch the Twitch. Let me know what you think about that. Whoever is on Twitch, let me know if you'd be able to tolerate just going on YouTube, because reasons. Anyways, here we have us 2. Right-clicking lets me delete that. And we're going to want multiple oscillators, except for I'm going to take a moment and look at the real Moogs again, remember? I'm going to look at what that LFO actually is. I don't think it's a sine. Sure enough, it is not. My LFOs are triangles, not sines. So let's set these surge LFOs both to triangles, not sines. And what I'm wondering is if I can see anything that will show me, and we've got a unipolar to bipolar thing that I can set as well. I don't think I'll be needing that, because I can see how fast these LFOs are blinking. There's multiple blinking lights here, and one of them is like, and the other one. So kind of like to have a visual indication of what the LFO is doing. I don't know if that's actually going to be a thing. Seems like it would be obvious, but you know. Let's do one oscillator at a time. And you know what? We can do that with the analog as well. Check this out. Let's make the surge one do one of the oscillators at a time. Here's osc 1. No, that's not. That's not osc 1. I'm adjusting osc 2. Right click to get that little menu which shows me where the assigns are, and we're not going to do that. Instead we're monitoring osc 1, and up here we switch to osc 1. Now we'll be able to hear it do something. Do you refer to a surge gamma? Is this what you mean? Dude, Surge is open source and free just like all of my stuff. Enjoy. It's yours. Have fun. Sharp. Okay, that was cool, but it was not like the Moog was. And no, I don't do surge. Bunch of cleverer people with some differences of opinion around certain sound quality things do surge. Like surge runs entirely on 32-bit floats, so I feel there's some limits to how analog-y texture it can get. But we're about to test that out because we are doing a A/B literally between surge and real analog, and we're going to try to build this patch. Again, click on the list, the modulator list, to get the range of this width. I'm also going to be fooling with like maybe the starting position of it if I can, which I think will also, the width part will also track, because I want to see where that will go. Used to be faster. So here's something. I can also manipulate deform if it's not tracking the way that that's handling it right. So this is, again, one of those deals where I'm going to be going into it and seeing how I can adjust these controls to make it sonically act the way that the real one does. Note that phase here is not going to matter because key trigger is what will make phase matter. If it's free run, phase is completely irrelevant, but deform and amplitude will still relate. So back to this. Let's also, I feel like we've still got some Portamento in there, so I guess that's fine. I think it's just going to be a different speed of Portamento. Like both of them have it, but it's not the same for both of them. Anywho, it might be time to bring in filters. Filters are going to be a type. There's a number of things that I might want to do here. Here's one. Let's leave off the high pass. We might want it later, but it's a built-in surge filter that's always active on everything. And I might want to do something else with that. I'm still interested in whether I'm going to be able to have these filters be independent. I think I probably am. You'll note up here like oscillator FM routing. Oh, and we are going to want let's first save this patch as something. How we're going to do that, I'm not exactly sure. Oh, there we go. So we're going to want to update that. My mic is falling over. So the way I've got this arranged, and I think this is going to do what I want. Yep. User patches, these are organized by oscillator type. I think it's better to organize things by oscillator type rather than like soundtrack, horn, whatever, because we're doing synthesis. So next thing we're looking to do is figure out how we can have individual filters for each of these os. And like, I don't see much in the way of how this is working. These are three little dots, but I'm not really quite sure what they mean. I know they're not pan. I guess we'll do the best we can. Tell you what, also Portamento. Let's start doing Portamento. and we don't want this to be poly. So that's a Portamento, but I don't think it's quite the same. So we're going to try some things like different curves. Analog circuits won't necessarily do a linear Portamento curve. So let's see if we get any closer with the log curve. Actually, linear might be closer. Right click. Oh God, no, not that. Nope. So, tell you what, I think I need to modulate this in order to dial it in, because even though I need two different Portamentos, neither of the Portamentos are really working the way the Mother 32 is. So we're going to start looking for something else, such as an envelope that's going to retrigger. And we're going to want it to act differently from either of these or any of these. We could try constant rate. That might be closer. I'm really struggling with this microphone, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, another problem. I'm not getting a swoop up. I'm getting a swoop down. That seems wrong. I'm not really sure quite what alternate unipolar is, but it didn't help. Glissando is going to be note by note. That's not what we want. Constant rate might be closer to what we want. Macros, no. Voice LFOs, no. Envelope. So amp envelope, or we've got a scene LFO envelope here. Like we could do LFO 3, and my concern with that is that does not know whether we're going up or down in pitch. Because what we need to try to do is get this Portamento to act the way that the Mother 32 is acting. Which turns out to be really hard. So and I'll tell you, I think it is slower going up than it is going down. This is seemingly an asymmetrical Portamento. I got to figure out how to make that happen. Alternate unipolar seems to be a flip-flop, and it's manipulating it by this amount. But it's not tracking whether it's going up or down, so I'm still not able to do my asymmetrical Portamento. So no modulation from that. That is not something, I mean, you could make it be random, but that's still not going to be doing the thing. I think we might be kind of boned unless we can algorithmically figure out whether the notes are higher or lower based on the modulation list or key track somehow, and then manipulate the Portamento based on some combination of those things, which I don't know if that's practical. Let's jump over to some of the filtering too, because the filtering is not sounding right. Tell you something else though. Oh, I mean, well, it's got key track, but that's not the problem, I don't think. Let's find out though. I mean, supposing we can make it react differently, That might... Jas, you're brilliant. That might do it. That might be the thing. Let's see whether we can fake this. That would mean that Portamento is slower on high notes and higher on low notes. So Portamento needs to get slower on high notes, and then when it's swooping back down to the low note to duplicate what we're hearing here, although it's clearly asymmetrical, it's clearly doing different speeds going up and going down. Also, I'm going to probably need to put another log on the fire at some point. It needs to go a lot slower for the high tracking, and then as soon as it's the low tracking, it goes faster. Let's see if we can make that happen. I don't think we'll assign it that way. We will assign it by going to key track and using this to modulate it. That probably means the value is higher. Well, let's find out. Yeah, I have a lot of wood logs. Let me go and deal with that now. Now, if those logs don't catch, I'm going to have to run off and deal with them. It's yet another thing to keep track of. Opposite. No. No. Okay, I need to make this portamento swoop up as the pitch is higher and slower when the pitch is lower. So there's a concern. We're still trying it. We're stuck on this. We're stuck on what this is doing, and we're still trying to make it happen. Hey, New Junk City. What's going on here is I do a bunch of, I make plugins for a living, and I do a bunch of sound jamming and so on. And what we're doing is in Surge Synthesizer, which is a entirely free plugin, I'm trying to duplicate the sound of this. So this, and I'm going to put this back on. That is a analog synth tone off of two Mother 32 synthesizers. They're Moogs. So I'm going into Surge Synthesizer, which you can download for free. Likewise with Bespoke, which is the DAW that this is running in. And we're going to clone this tone or we're going to die trying, because it's not going well. But that's because I'm hearing things about this that clearly need to happen, and I'm struggling to work out how that's done. In particular, right now what we're doing is working on Portamento. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, New Junk City. And yeah, I enjoy my Eurorack. Right now what I'm doing is using it to set a high bar, which I will then try to match using Surge, using free downloadable instruments. And my own plugins if I need to. Some of them are actually in Surge already. And we'll see. But yeah, this is my bar. Interestingly, it's not going down all the way with the pitch bender, but that is a rippin' analog lead tone. And Freyskin, I'll show you exactly what I'm struggling with. Here's what we got so far. This is the real deal. Notice how that goes swooping up, but it doesn't go down. Here's Surge. Miles away. Here, let's open Surge back up again. We will try that. I have already done that. Log. Beginning to see what I mean? Yeah, so we are getting the swoop up in the real deal. To swoop up, but it switches down faster. It's an analog circuit. I can only assume they must, also the logs have caught in the fire, so I don't have to worry about that. And basically, Surge is going doo with pitch all the time. It's doing the opposite of what I want. So here's your problem. I gotta get this to respond differently. I'm not sure what key track actually means here. So let's try highest key and see whether that, because as near as I can tell, if I can have it slow down on a high key and speed up on a low key, and that's of course assuming that like, will it re-trigger? How about this? How about mono may not be re-triggering. I may need it to re-trigger to make it do that. I don't really contribute to the Surge project so much as they've incorporated some of my plugins with things. And right now I'm strictly playing with Surge settings. We haven't even gotten into the interesting stuff because we've tripped over Portamento, which is wrong, and we're trying to make it work. Yep, it would be nice if I could see what some of these things were doing, I gotta say. Hello. I think mono versus mono ST versus mono FP might be the thing. Let's see what we start getting. Because Portamento is starting to work a little better just from changing that. Let's demonstrate it. Pay dirt. We want mono ST for the Portamento because it's not triggering properly on either of the other settings. Although mono ST and FP is another option. I'm going to have to look up what those things mean at some point. And we're going to go one oscillator at a time, please. There we go. So what ended up working was mono ST, and I'm going to have to look up what that means someday. And Portamento needs to be using key track, and I have found the thing which will make it swoop up slower than it swoops down. So we're going to use a small amount of that, and that should be able to, I should be able to dial in the Portamento behavior of the Moog. Okay. Alrighty then, thank you. That's what I needed to know. I don't know, I mean, I would have thought we're wanting to restart the envelope, but for whatever reason, like, this is doing the thing that I need, even if it sounds like the explanation says it will do the opposite of what I need. For now. Okay, so when you say don't restart the envelope, what you mean is pitch sits there until it gets a new note. That makes sense. That makes sense if that's what the Moog would be doing. We're still miles away as far as the tone is concerned, so let's start looking into these filters. I got notes. There we go. So here's the real deal. So we got basic filters, legacy ladder, vintage ladder, and it's probably worth assuming that ladder filter is what the Moog uses, so we're probably going to go with that. Legacy, I described it as a more pure sounding filter, and the number of poles is going to be relative. Vintage ladder, I've got 1 and 2 described as fugitive, and 3 and 4 described as sweet. Oh, looky here, without planning it, it looks like we can dial in the low frequency behavior of this, because the real one lows are a little different. So let's see what we can make happen out of this. So now we got a little nonlinearity in there. That's sort of roughly what I'm thinking. Let's play with the filters. I've been talking about filters. I've been doing nothing about them. This is not a big filter difference. Those filters are set fairly high up. The resonance is not all that great, but we can still get something happening. I'm also wondering whether maybe I want to use a bandpass in there somewhere, but that would be later, I think. Oh, I see what's happening. My filter configuration is screwed up. Let's try this instead. I don't know if we're going to be able to, like, what I had there was not appropriate. I was fixing to send distinct oscillators into distinct filters. It does not seem like that's what's going to happen. Although let's find out. Like, we're going to set some legacy ladder filters up and have them be very different cutoffs. Dual. Dual might be what I'm after. And let's see if I can right click on this. Okay, fair enough. This is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I need. Filter 1 is the first os, and I'll make it match this one, and then filter 2 is the second os. I'll make it match the other one, and they will come together into the... Cool. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed. Got a lot more buzziness here. I'm listening to what the highs are doing there, and that's clearly the resonance of this filter, but it's coming off higher than it actually says it is. edge on that doesn't sound quite the same. So we got several filter types here. These are the ones I called fugitive, but 3 and 4 I was calling sweet. It's compensated or not compensated. So basically, I think that's going to describe what lows we get through. The real filter on the Moog looks to be about 10K. Not too bad. That's not so far off. We're starting to get there. This is promising. Let's now copy this over to the other filter. Well, actually, no, let's not copy it over to the other filter just yet. I'm wondering whether there's something I can do in post-processing, because I feel like there are some differences here. Let's maybe bring in this high pass. Well, I'm also wondering whether key tracking is going to have anything. Let's examine what the filter is doing on really low notes compared to really high notes and see if there are any differences there. I've got an individual filter key track that will let me tweak that on either of them.